Hello, my friends. You're welcome to another episode of A Sound Mind with Gloria, and I am your host, Gloria Udi. If you feel overwhelmed, emotionally or mentally drained, or maybe you just needed a safe space to breathe, you are not alone. I have this conversation every week. If this speaks to you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and grow with me. Thank you. So today we'll be talking about a very special topic, and I'm joined by a special guest. He's known as Sheyi, he's known as Elijah, he's known as comedian, he's known as pastor, he's known as footballer, anything.
I am Mr. Everything. Not really. So my name is Odubote Oluwaseyi Elijah, a business owner, a brother in the fellowship. I'm also a digital marketer, and I'm a man of so many great things, great things. So thank you for having me, Miss Gloria Ode. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Brother Sheyi. You are most welcome. You know, you're one person that I see you're someone that has so many colors in you. God has given you a garment of so many colors. Can you look at this flower? It has so many colors.
Sure, right.
And to me, this is the best way I can describe you as this flower.
I'm single, by the way.
He's single also, my single sisters. If the Lord is speaking, just glue to this program.
Please stay. Don't.
You're someone with so many talents. You do virtually everything, and you suit perfectly well into every situation. Can you just tell me what this inspires you? We're talking about talent and creativity, especially in the young people.
All right.
So tell me about yourself. What inspires you? You just can do so many things. At what point do you realize that you can do so many things?
All right. Majorly, if I say I'm doing so many things now, I'm not that. But I'm somebody that when I see problems and I just want to prefer a solution to it. And not just me being the solution, also trying to equip people around me to be the solution. So when you notice problem and you have that heart to things need to move, you know how to just fit in to that area that can just provide the solution. You know, we are talking about talent. Talent is majorly inbuilt. Talent is that natural gift that you have. And I won't say I might be having so many outward manifestation, but I think the inward is better from I just love to be a solution. So any capacity I find myself in, it might not be my full strength, but instead of allowing that place to lack, I just want to say, how can I fit in to be that solution? And if I see people that can have the more stronger effects, we just bed them into that system. So talent majorly is that your natural giftings, that capacity that you have inbuilt. In fact, I remember a particular popular preacher that has gone to be with the Lord. His name is Miles Monroe. He says something about talent. He says something about giftings. He said the most expensive place in the world is the mortuary. He says so many people died without manifesting what God has placed in them.
Sad.
He said the most expensive place is the mortuary. Is that people die with their God-given talent, and that is a serious matter. And even among the youth, everybody don't know that they have something special in them, and they try to just look for maybe look for that menial job that as long I need something to eat, but they didn't discover. In fact, no man does not have a talent in them. No man does not have a talent in them. And I want to put Mrs. Gloria on the spot. You know, I know you had one interview me, but let me just throw you one question.
All right.
You do have now.
Yes.
So, your own journey so far, what Indian talent do you feel like has really speak out for you in your journey? Okay,
so let me just give a brief history to my journey. You see, I used to work for a commercial bank. Now, I worked for over a decade. And I must confess that I wouldn't say it was all rosy, but I realized that deep inside, I was just doing the job for the salary.
Wow.
I knew that wasn't my part because I was not enjoying it. And I stayed that long in a job that I didn't enjoy.
So maybe you can be like that.
Yes, I stayed for over a decade.
Wow, 10 years.
Yes,
Oh,
over
wow.
doing something I knew deep in my spirit that I wasn't enjoying. Now, I didn't know what I had that would speak out for me if I leave the job. So that was the reason I stayed too long on the job, because I didn't know what else to do outside the job. But then, life happened and I was outside the job. And then when I was outside the job, that was when I started hearing myself for the first time. Because on the job, I was always rushing.
Yeah.
You need to leave the house on or before 7. Then I had kids. I had 1, I had 2, I had 3, and they were going to school. So you can imagine how chaotic my life was. I needed to get them all dressed up to school. I needed to prepare. There were days where Nanny disappointed, and then I had to wake up at 4 o'clock, wash the clothes, prepare their lunch. I'm rushing to work, and then at work, we had a lot of work pressure, so much. So it was a very chaotic life for me. And then I also knew at that point, even though I stayed that long, but I knew that I wasn't built for so much pressure. I wasn't built for so much pressure. I was built for just presence. So when I left the job, I was not rushing in the morning again. I started calming down. In fact, I had to train my nervous system to relax, because I was never relaxed. I was always tense. I was always at the edge. What next? What next? Because you need to be fast when attending to customers. 5 minutes turnaround time was the low while I was in the bank. So my life was just chaotic.
Wow.
There was never a moment for me.
Until you eventually discover.
So when I left the bank, I could wake up in the morning. I was not rushing. Yes, I wasn't shouting that much in the house. So I started hearing my own soul. Then I discovered that, okay, I'm someone who don't fit into pressure, deep pressure, but I love presence. I love calm environment. I do love calm environment. I love beautiful environment. I love homely things. So from there, the idea came with prayers, waiting on the Lord, a sound mind with Gloria.
Wow.
And then all these things you are seeing, they were the mental picture I had that are coming to reality now. I also realized that I could have a conversation, and I could stay on a conversation, meaningful conversation. I don't really like conversation that are intense. Now, like argument, I don't fit into argument. Yes, I cannot start arguing over something to win. I cannot do it. I don't like deep conversation on things that could trigger emotions negatively. Yes, I just love cool life. And I realized that you can create that cool life for yourself, even if there's nobody out there to give, because we live in a society where everything is being rushed. We live in a society where everything is all about productivity. Nobody talk about presence, but talk about calmness. You'll be seen as a lazy person, and there's nowhere in this society that provide that environment.
Wow, massive.
So I have provided it for myself. Now, even from what you can see, the rug, the color of the rug, the decorations, the coloring, everything speaks of me. It speaks about me.
Wow.
This is my presence I've created.
Wow.
A peaceful presence. There's nobody that will walk in here that will not feel that presence. It's not harsh.
Strong. You really talk about a process of, when you eventually discover your purpose, and, sometimes discovering your talent. Sometimes when people journey, they will start with something that they'll think is what they are good at, but eventually they'll be like, I'm not cut out for this thing.
Yes.
I remember growing up, for me, I love to dance. In fact, I had a dancing crew. We used to go for competitions, and in fact, I was even their choreographer. So, in fact, when I was not picturing myself, I remember I did a 10-year goal plan in that period of time. So I was picturing myself based on the talent I felt was what I need to journey with in that my season. I said, in the next 10 years, I'll have a dance school. We'll be doing this, we'll be doing that. In fact, I remember a popular artist, his name is, in the secular music industry, his name is Latan.
Okay.
In fact, he was my coursemate while we were in school. In fact, there was a time he released a song with one that was dancing to that song back then. And Eltel came to our school. That was his big blow. Eltel came to our school. He did a rap battle. He took the first position, and they gave him a car. Now Zlatan is everywhere now. So I was picturing myself in that dancing career. In fact, this communication thing that I'm doing, I used to say I'm a very shy person. In fact, when I'm in class and the lecturer asks me a question, and I'll be like, even if I know the answer, the way my heart will be beating, I'll just be beating, and I'll be like this. So even if they eventually call me, all the English language will mix, adjective will enter past tense, present will enter, and my hand will not be shaking like this.
Oh my God, nervousness.
So it was as I felt like communicating is not my thing. As I felt like dancing was my thing, because I discovered that skillful part of me. But I discover in a man might be a different tool of talent, but there can also be a soul talent. You can have a good communicating skills. You can also you might be good in managing, you might be good in other things, but there might be a key source. Like now you were working in banking system, you were good at it, right? You were being productive, you can be strategic in that field. That there are tools, but there is a real source talent that those things are uprooting from. Now you have started with So Mind with Gloria, you are still being strategic, you are still attending to some things, but the key thing was that communicating aspect, that calmness. That is the soul place where
the
that
aura
is betting from. Is betting from. So, the Bible recorded about, he gave some 5, 3, 1. So some can be so clouded with so many things, and God give them because they have the capacity to do it. Some people might just be having other and say, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? You didn't have the capacity to do it. So, that until a season that, in the process of knowing myself, I started knowing that, okay, yes, I can dance, but it's for a season. But that's not the key area that God is calling me to manifest. There are other things that will spring forth out. Some people might might know how to play a keyboard, and they will journey with the keyboard journey. Don't know that, yes, it might be a tool for a season, but that is not the sole primary of what God wants to get out of your life.
A tool for a season.
Yes.
It's
tool for a
season.
Yes, a tool for a season. So until I stopped dancing, in fact, the way I stopped was, I took a role in the fellowship where we put me in the front, and I started, in fact, and I saw that I have the ability to speak. I have the ability to communicate well. So I found out that my talk, in fact, is a very powerful tool in all the journey I keep manifesting. And later I branch into maybe designing, interpreting. So you see, those talents can be trained. Yes,
talent can be trained,
but there is a so key one that God is betting out of you. If you don't discover that one, you just be guessing and be assuming different thing. And to the youth out there, majorly to the youth out there, so many people have been joining guessing. This is what I'm called to do, and someone might ask a question. I just hear someone asking that question, like, what is my talent? How do I discover my talent? And I think we need to discuss that. How do I discover my talent? How do I discover what God has placed in me? And I will always say this thing is, don't stop doing what you're doing.
Yes, don't stop. Continue.
Yeah.
Continue until you get a tip of what God has planted in you. Now, I said something earlier on. I didn't know that I had this talent of communicating. I didn't know that some days I'll be a voice out there, because now I'm on the internet and I'm all over the world. People are watching me from all over the world. Now, how can someone discover or know his talent? You cannot know your talent when you have when you're too crowded, when you have too many activities around you, and then your goal is just money.
That's a very powerful point.
Yes, because most of what everybody is doing now It's money.
It's money.
Whether you enjoy it or you don't enjoy it or everybody's after money. They're all after
and
money.
I think that talent can even bring a greater money and also bring peace with it.
Yes. But when you're not doing it, when you're just everywhere, just running, helter-skelter, you just have too many things in your head, you're just thinking, oh, how do I make this money? You will never hear your soul. You will hear your soul. Because your talent is right there in your soul. It's not in your body, it's in your soul. Now, until you start communicating with your soul, now until your body, your mind, and your soul aligned, you will not discover your talent.
Wow.
You need to be in alignment with your soul, your body, and your spirit before you can discover your talent. Now, somebody will ask me, so how do I align? Alignment means you now having fellowship with yourself. A lot of persons don't, because when you wake up in the morning, you are rushing, you're busy, you're reading for the exams just to pass. Now you're calculating the bills, you're thinking. So we rarely, especially in this part of the world, we rarely just withdraw and have communication with ourselves and meditate, where you can hear your breath, you can feel the rhythm of your heartbeats. Yes, you can feel the rhythm of your heartbeat. You can feel your guts communicating. The guts communicate. It crumbles.
Wow.
Now I'm taking us to a very deep world of yourself. Now, a lot of persons have not really experienced that. Have you?
A couple of times.
You have. A lot of persons haven't. So until you reach that point where you align, you wouldn't know your talent. So calm down from the rush. Whenever you get back to the house, okay, make out time for yourself. Drop your phone. Stop endless scrolling and betting and arguments from social media. When you finish from Instagram, you rush to WhatsApp, you're arguing. When you finish from WhatsApp, you run to Facebook, you're arguing. When you finish from Facebook, you are jumping to TikTok, you're arguing. You are reading all the news in the world, you are happy. And then when you're tired, you just sleep off. You wouldn't know you will not know your talent.
Yeah.
You will not know that thing that is in you. In your soul that's waiting to be activated.
Wow.
It's waiting to be activated. So I'm grateful to God that I have reached that point.
Come on now.
Yes, where I'm in alignment with my soul. Now whatever I'm doing gives me peace.
Exactly.
It gives me peace. I'm not just doing it for the money. Yes, the money aspect is there because you need the money to run your life. But then there's peace. I know that this is what I am called for.
Wow.
So now I can make options. Now you give me this, you give me that. I will say no, I prefer this because I'm in alignment.
That's the power of knowing yourself.
I'm in alignment with what brings me peace.
Exactly.
I'm in alignment with what I'm giving out. I'm giving so much value.
Yeah.
You know, there are moments whereby I will feel like, I want to rest. I don't want to shoot today. But I remember a soul out there who is truly waiting for this program, who are just glued to my page because this is so meaningful.
Wow.
So I have the courage to keep pushing on.
You just said a powerful point, in the calmness of your mind.
Yes.
Able to hear what God has placed in you.
Exactly.
And another thing I'll add to it in the place of discovering your talents is sometimes before you get there, there's also a part you need to always take responsibility for some things. Why do I say that? So many people can't discover themselves until they put themselves into use. Yes. Until you put yourself into use, you can't really say that, I'm good at this thing. A slothful man, a lazy man will say, I don't want to go out today. Probably, there's a way the Bible puts it. So a lazy man will always say, things will happen by itself. Something will just pop up, and it won't pop up. Funniest thing, I discover more of myself in taking responsibility. People don't know why. The people might be like, is it only you? I'd be like, first of all, I do it from my heart, but I found out that there are so many strengths that manifest when I take up responsibility. So when I take some time, I'll say this one is not for me because I feel so drained. So drained.
Drained.
This one is, but there are sometimes when I take some certain and I feel like, so I can really do this thing, and I'm enjoying doing it. So one of the way you can discover yourself is some people will always be behind the show. They'll say, who will volunteer this in your church? You say, me, I'm just to go and volunteer and do that thing. You find yourself like, oh, so this is something I'm actually can do and enjoy it and love it, in fact. So you need to know how to take responsibility and put yourself in that picture, put yourself in that activity in your church. Be a worker, do something, join the media, and you find out that, oh, there is this unique ability about me. You know, before this program started, we were talking about creativity, and creativity majorly is when you discover your talent. So the reason why so many talents doesn't blossom is the absence of creativity. Creativity is looking at your talent or using your talent I would love to use in a God mind way. Why did I say in a God mind way? Can you imagine a God that looked the head and created different animals? Can you imagine a God? Look at everybody in the whole wide world. We have the same nose, eyes, but we can't. No one have the same fingerprints. If I want to look at the Haitian, you look at the Europe, you look at African, you see how that is a strategic person in working. So strategic man means, or creativity means, doing something outside the box. Like, for example, Sound Mind with Gloria. There are so many programs out there. There are so many people that will say, I'm called to do this thing. But there are not so many people that are creative in what they are doing. Creating something out the box. Creating life. Creating, I can try to say, okay, so this is the content we are talking about today. So there's a creativity that backs it up. There's a creativity that backs the media up. There are people behind the camera. There's creativity in what they are doing. So everybody is shooting. But if, like one of my brother behind the camera, his name is Brad Johnson. When he edits, you'll be like, oh, this is creativity.
Yes, he's so good at it. Please, kudos to you. God bless you.
So creativity.
He's a cool guy.
So creativity is, I'm seeing this thing outside the picture. And I feel like this is, and one thing that sells in the market is creativity. It sells in the market. Everybody is doing this thing, but there's a unique way that I'm going to present my gift to the world, and that's where people are really lacking. Some people know their talent, but there's creativity in absence. So people need to really train themselves, build themselves, think up. In fact, in that calmness state of discovering your talent is also one of the ways you can be creative. When you see you are rushing your things, you be like, God called me to do this thing. Why is it not working? Why is it not manifesting? You draw back and you go back to your writing materials. And I'm like, what other ways? In fact, sometimes, some of my creativity in my past journey life, I have led a fellowship group while I was in school. And there are things that we have done that they are still doing till now. That is probably almost 8-10 years ago or thereabouts. And those things are still involved now. But let me tell you how those creativity, I didn't get those creativity when I was quiet. There are sometimes I get things like that. Some creativity are involved when you speak with people. So I remember I was speaking with my brother and he shared something, and that thing just stuck to my mind. And I went back to the fellowship and I said, I want us to do this way. We improved on what he said. So creativity comes in the calmness of the mind, also seeking from counsel. The Bible positioned this way. It said, in a multitude of counsels, there is safety. So when you receive counsel from wise men, there is that security. You have to know how to do it in the right way. So creativity is, what God has given to me, I need to bet it out in a unique picture. I need to bet it out, and I can tell you for free. So I'm going to give Sound Mind. I'm going to ask her rather a very strong question. And she didn't know I'm going to ask her, but I'm going to ask her.
I'm on the hot seat today.
So, what creativity have you put in place in Sound Mind with Gloria? Please, let the car be ready. They should push me. What creativity have you put in Sound Mind with Gloria?
All right. You see, like I said earlier on, I didn't know that I had this in me. But eventually, life happened, and I realized that, I could do this, I could do that. Now, if you've been following my program, you will realize that we don't have the same settings.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't have the same settings, like the studio setting. I try to make it look lively, look alive. There's no way you can come and you don't feel life here. You don't feel life here. Now, I deliberately had to put this flower vase because it has so many colors in it.
Come on now.
Yes, it has so many. The green represents productivity. The yellow, it represents sunshine, sunlight. The white radiates. Even the color of the rock is intentionally chosen.
Wow.
Now, I also have different guests.
Yeah, massive.
I have different guests for different conversations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are all strategies that I'm putting in. Now, there are days that I will have outdoor shooting. We are getting to that space yet. Yeah, there are days that we have, I'm invited for programs. I deliberately record them to show you that I can do so many things. You know, it's not just the studio. Now we are on different media platforms.
Yeah.
Because if you have a talent, it's not for you to hide it. If you hide it, nobody will know you.
Nobody.
So you have to put yourself out
Okay.
there to be seen, to be known. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what people will see. Don't be afraid of what will be the outcome. Okay, let's turn the other way around. Now you are afraid it might not come out well. What if it comes out well?
What if?
You are afraid you might get a low view. What if you now have a high view?
Yeah, right.
Yes. So I'm also learning because I also need to keep developing myself. You cannot have a talent and, like you said, seek godly counsel. And there are people who have gone ahead of you in this, on this road. They've gone ahead of you. They know where there are potholes, where the road is smooth, where you have valley, where you have mountains. You need to be mentored. You need to be mentored. Now, look for someone who is in that field. They might not even know that you are their mentor, but you can watch them from afar and learn from them. Now, you also keep developing yourself to know what is out there, because you might have an idea that is working now, but it might not really work in the later on, because the world is evolving. Now we have AIs virtually taking everything. And there are some persons who will have this conversation in an AI without them being the face. What I'm trying to say, without them being the face. So the world is evolving. So I wouldn't say I must stick to this old style. I also need to learn what is evolving with AIs. Learning AIs too, for a sound mind with Gloria. There are some topics that I wouldn't want my face to be seen. I wouldn't want people to know that this is the voice behind it. Maybe based on controversies. Based on how the sensitivity of that means. I wouldn't want my face to be shown, but my voice to be heard, and AI will be there doing it. Do you understand? Yes. So these are the creativity I'm bringing in to a sound mind with Gloria. So people don't only see mental health as a mad person on the streets. No. Mental health has to do with the way you think, the way you view life, the way you react, the way you handle stress, and the way you relate with others. That's what mental health is all about. Now, like I said earlier on too, I said I'm not built for so much stress. No, I'm not. I'm not built for so much pressure. I break down easily when I'm
so stressed.
When I'm So I now know that even in mental health, there are people that are at 100%. They can handle whatever life throws at them. It's okay. There are people that are at 95. There are people at 50. But just know your mental strength and stick to it. That is a creativity I'm bringing in now. Now I know my capacity as a person. I don't do beyond that. So I don't break down. So I don't get drained. So I don't keep putting activities to show that, oh, I was doing that at some point. Because I wanted to be like some other persons who were being praised as being hard working. So I knew that I was pushing myself beyond my body limits. So you see me. I knew that my body was saying slow down, calm down, but then people were watching me. So I wanted to prove to them that, oh, I didn't know that I was doing a mess to myself. Thank God that I know now, and I'm free. So I no longer perform. It's just my presence is enough. If you don't like what I do, please shift. There are some other persons out there who will see and love what I do. I don't need to be seen rushing. They just say, hey, she's a very hardworking woman. She's a strong woman. She's a good staff. I'm running. My body is saying stop. I'm saying, no, give me more work. I'm taking more work. I'm taking more work for my supervisors to see me and grade me A, for my colleagues to say, oh, I no longer do that.
You know, this, what you just said about, you know, people trying to copy others is a very serious matter. And I wish to tell them that when you discover yourself, what you're doing alone is important.
Yes.
Just like a car. A car has different parts, and that's how talent is. When you discover yours, you are functioning in the full body.
Yes.
You know, people might be doing the same thing we are doing, but the audience are also different. So there's there's a need to understand that we are part of a full body, and we need to have that in our heart that there is no competition in this journey. And God has placed those things in us to achieve a particular assignment. You know, even me too, I used to feel like, let me just be like this person. But I found out that there's so much beauty and peace when you are you.
Honestly, when you're you,
it brings more people to you when you stand for what you do, and you maintain that niche, and you flow with it. It brings more accolade to that. So don't try to copy what other people are doing. It brings more damage than
I'm
good.
telling you, it does.
And as you're saying something again, you know what the way it was coming was, is that when you don't discover your talent, you are empty. When you not discover your talent and you're not creativity, you will never be productive.
Exactly.
But when you discover your talent and you are creative with it, it brings so much absolute result. I will say that again. When you don't discover your talent, you are totally empty.
You're empty.
You'll be so empty.
You will.
But when you discover your talent and you are not creativity with what you're doing, you are never going to be productive. You'll not be fruitful. You'll not dominate. But talent with creativity brings so much great output. And that is what we are saying out there to people, that there's a need for you to know what God has placed in you. And one of the ways, just like she's shared, is in the calmness of your mind.
Exactly.
Take up responsibility. You know, put yourself in some certain engagement.
Exactly.
Don't limit yourself. Come out of that shell and you see the beauty out of you. And we said, after discovering your talent, we need to add that with creativity. You need to be creative with what you're doing. You need to look at how unique can I fix in my market. What style can I do? What unique ability can I bring? In marketing, we call something USP, unique selling proposition. So what unique thing is about my product? So that is where creativity comes in place. It comes with the packaging. I'm talking about markets. I'm talking about products. So we need to add that to what we do. And this is a beautiful topic. I will bless you out there. And I know our time is really going right now.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm already becoming like the one.
You know, when you enjoy what you're doing, you wouldn't even want it to come to an end.
Come on now.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to.
Stand with Gloria. We day.
When you enjoy what you're doing, you wouldn't want it to come to an end. And I'm really grateful, and I cannot thank God enough for this vision.
Wow.
Honestly, this truly aligns with who I am. Yes, I remember at some point someone even labeled me back then. He called me that I'm a sluggish person. Yes, it was embarrassing, it was humiliating, and then it hurt and cut so deep back then. And because I didn't know this much, so I internalized it, and I started performing for people. I started trying to do things to please other people. Now I'm grateful to God for this opportunity. Now I realize that what other people say about you is not truly who you are. It's a reflection of what they think about you, and that's not in your position to change it.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for this talent that I've discovered. I'm not a sluggish person.
No, you're not.
I'm a peaceful person.
Yes.
So many persons confuse being peaceful to being sluggish. I'm not sluggish. I'm peaceful. I'm loving. I'm homely. I'm a calm person. So if I don't fit into your standard, it's okay. It's not my business to deal with. Now, there are people who appreciate me for who I am. And I'm so grateful for discovering myself. Now I'm doing life based on my terms. I'm doing life the way I love it. I'm doing life and I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to die someday being buried with my potential. The world will remember me as someone who truly lived a life worthy of emulation. When I leave this world, at the end of everything, my work will still be speaking for me in generations to come, because the internet never forgets. I will grow old some days, and these videos will be played for generations. So I'm grateful to God for this beautiful talent. It's not common, you know. People like my type, we are not common. We are not many. So the world is here to appreciate my type of person. The world just want performance. They just want, but people like me, we bring presence. We come with presence. We are called empaths. We are called sensitive people. We are called conservative. Now, no matter how strong you are out there, someday you just need a shoulder to lean on. And we are those kind of people that will offer a shoulder to lean on. Some days you need someone to just talk to your soul, just make you feel calm. And I'm that kind of a person.
Wow.
Yes, I'm that kind. I'm not someone that will push you. No, God didn't call me for that. God called me for presence. God called me for calmness. God called me to be an empath. God has called me to be a sensitive person. I know my position. I know who I am, and I'm comfortable, and I'm grateful to Him.
Wow. I wish we can just do a clap right now. No, that was beautiful, and I'm so glad that this show is in place.
Yeah.
You know, as you were talking, and I said another way to really discover your purpose is when you think about making impact. It would something just come out. I don't know. When you think about I want to be a solution, then the Lord will just raise that standard upon your heart and you will manifest. And you just see yourself doing so many things. So you have people at heart, and that is beautiful. And yes, just like you've said, generation will come and they will say, thank God for Sound Mind with Gloria, and it is been a blessing to us. And with your different program, different topics of day-to-day life, you know, some people might say, okay, we need to make this thing move. Let's talk about some certain things, but you decide to just look at the core problem that people are facing. And today we're talking about talent, we're talking about creativity. And I'm saying to people out there, this is a program that we need to stand with. This is a program that we need to support. And this is a program that we need to reshare. Especially that person that is viewing now. Please reshare.
Please do.
Even if it's to cut this part, I'm talking to the director team now. If it's to cut the part, post it on social media, I said, Elijah said, reshare, it will trend. So let's reshare this post and let people see this. Your neighbor might need this, your younger one might need this. And let's be a blessing to people's life. I'm so appreciative that Sound Mind with Gloria bring a wonderful brother like me on this show. And I want to say a big thank you for having me on this beautiful show. And let me say it live now. So please don't cut it when you're editing this. That they must invite me again and again and again and again.
Yes. You are a part of this vision. And I'm grateful to God for the gift of you, honestly. See, let me tell this to my viewers. And let us sink deep down. When you are aligned, God will bring the right people your path. He wouldn't bring people that will break you with words. He will bring people your way that align with your vision, that aligns with your growth, that make your soul happy, your soul glow. Thank you so very much for listening and staying till this very moment. I love you, and from this end, we'll say goodbye.
All right. Let me use this one. Yes.